to Elizziebooks. My name is Liz and today we're going to talk about In the Shadow of Blackbirds. So I got this book through the Debut Authors Challenge tour blog and it's a fantastic read. I was just very intrigued by the idea of paranormal and the Spanish influenza in the 1918 year. Basically it's about this girl who her father has been I guess put in jail because he has been against the war, and so she is sent to her aunt's house where there are tons of people battling the flu and everything. She's living in San Diego. She thinks it's good air and everything, but Aunt Eva's husband has already died from the flu, and so it's just kind of like, oh my gosh, what is this? And basically also with that, what is her name? Mary Shelley, named after the author. Her best friend, her best childhood friend, had moved from Portland, where she's from, down to San Diego, or near San Diego, because of something, I forget what it was, but basically, he moves down there, and then once she moves down there, she's like, oh, is he gonna come home from the war? Yada yada yada, and then she's told, your best friend has died in the war, what are you gonna do about it? And she kind of really gets struck by lightning, dies, and then re-enters her body to find out that she can now see ghosts, and especially her best friend's ghost. And so she has to help him kind of stop haunting his old house and figure out what happened to him, figure out why he died, what was the cause and everything, and that takes her on this great journey. She goes and visits this, not really veterans ward, it's just kind of like just a home for injured soldiers and stuff like that, and so she meets some very interesting guys, including a guy who went to high school with her friend Steven, and so she gets to see like another side of Steven and how he was in the war and how shell-shocked he was and everything like that. Like, this brings a lot of reality to those times, because I think we just kind of graze over that in history classes, because I didn't know that the Spanish influenza had that big of an impact. In the author's note it said, like, you know, I think it was like 2 million people were affected or something. 100 million people killed. Okay. I really liked this book. I liked the characters. I liked how intense everyone was because of the times, and just the atmosphere of the book, and it was at times very like, oh my gosh, what is about to happen, kind of scary, because I was reading it most of the time at like 11, 12 o'clock at night when all my family was asleep. And so you can imagine that I was a little scared. A little bit. And I love Mary Shelley. She's one of those odd girls. She likes to play with parts and pieces. She takes apart her aunt's phone at one point to see what's wrong with it and see how it works. And she does this with several other things in the house. And she just has an interesting worldview. And some other interesting characters are people like Aunt Eva, who she works building battleships because her husband has died. She's got to collect some sort of wages, and so that's what she does. She goes off and earns her wages. There's also Julius, who is Stephen's brother, who is a photographer, and he is becoming well known for his paranormal photography. Basically he has people sit down and he takes their picture, and you know, their loved one, ghost of their loved one shows up in the picture when that happens. And so yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff with that, as far as like him and another photographer in the town kind of competing against one another, and that turns out very interestingly. And it's just, oh my gosh, it's crazy how far people will take things just to see themselves succeed over somebody else. So yeah, this book has a lot of great like paranormal aspect, human aspect, just crazy stuff with the flu and history and things like that, and just crazy, but good. It's really good, and I liked it a lot. I do. I just recommended it to one of my friends, and I was like, I just finished this book, but you need to read this. It's good. It really is. I liked it. It was kind of trippy at some points when she's like talking for Steven, because there are times when he's like, I'm gonna come into your body, and what? It's crazy. She sees like all of his dreams and stuff like that, all of his nightmares and all that stuff, and I'm just like, I would not have been able to handle that at all. So yes, kudos. So all in all, I really like this book. I think that it's a really enjoyable read, a really quick read that you can just read in a couple of days. It took me several days just because I just school, guys. I have finals next week. I have 2 finals and then I'm done, and then I can make all of the videos, and I'm going to catch up on all of my reviews and everything else. And yes, so I hope you all have a great day and keep reading.